Yo, what's going on? TRB, the right brother, big country. And per the request, I guess I'm gonna do a little something different. I'm gonna just talk to y'all, man. Just talk to y'all about me, some real life shit. You know, blase, blase, whoop-de-woo. You know, per Trucker Brown, I am a politician, so I tend to stray away from confrontation, things that are conflicting, and I say I'm not straying away, you know, from conflict or something that's thought-provoking. I just like for my videos to be focused on a particular area, which is trucking. Because trucking is something that I love. I enjoy this. I enjoy the feeling of moving forward. I enjoy the vibrations of the truck, the rattling of the pipes, and the feeling that I am being productive is a beautiful thing, you know. I left for work today since I'm on my local route. When I came in from running this route for the first time, my lady and the kids was on their way out to go to school and daycare and so on and so forth. I gave them a kiss and told them to be safe and that I love them. And then they left. And then when I woke up, hopped in the shower, got my stuff ready to leave out, they were just pulling in, and I did the same thing. It's beautiful when you can look at your child, when you can reach out and touch your creation. You know, those kids of mine are my creations. I created them with the help of my lady. Me and her created something. We created 3 beings. And that's something that a lot of people just don't grasp. They hear like, you know, we created 3 kids. No, you created 3 beings. You and your significant other, your better half, the mother of your children, you guys came together and you sparked life. And every time you look at your child, it's just like, if you were religious, it's just like God gave you mud and said, okay, this is what you have to work with. Now let's see what you can do with it. Because when a child comes out, they come out with whatever prerequisites. You know, one of my daughter has my forehead and their mama's eyes and my height and their mama's whatever and their daddy's whatever. And it came together like, okay, here's what you're bringing and here's what I'm bringing. You know, I brung the water, her ovaries are the soil, and now we produced something that to me is absolutely beautiful. And not only that, they're mine. So however they think or act is coming from me, her, and society. You know, and you just get to draw your own painting. That's what it is when I look at my kids. They're art that's not done. They're beautiful art that is not done. And I'm just, every time I teach them, every time I hug, kiss, show them emotions, expressions, teach them, guide them, show them, give them things to experience. It's like a paintbrush. Sometimes the strokes might have to be a little bit harder for them to grasp the concept of what I'm imprinting onto them. But all in all, there are creations, and we get to mold them into the person that we want them to be. Now, with that said, it's like sometimes you look at people and you're like, who molded this person to be whatever they are? Because you as a parent is the foundation, everything else, you have to teach them about society, because I'm a product of society. I mean, my my life, if you was to hear the story, you wouldn't believe the story compared to the person that I am. I was a child of society. I was born a crack baby. My mama was a crackhead. I grew up in a single family home. I went to juvenile hall a few times, and I got put into foster care at a young age. I was probably still in elementary, and I went to foster care, group homes. I've been homeless. I slept at the bus stops. You know, I've slept on friends' couches, and I've stolen cars. I've been through a lot, and that's what prepared me to, or molded me into the person that I am, because I sit and I talk to my brother, because he was the only brother there. I'm the baby of 10, but I wasn't raised with none of my brothers and sisters, because they all had different mamas, different daddies, or whatever. But I talked to my brother, which is weird, because with my life story, there's not one consistent person that's been in my life that knows or was there to experience and that's why my life is moments. I always say my life is moments, because when I was in a foster home, there was somebody there at that moment that probably would remember me being in the foster home. When I was in a group home, there's somebody there that I remember, but there hasn't been anybody that's been a constant in my life. And that's why I'm so good at being a loner, because while I enjoy being with people, I'm so used to going through life solo, dealing with my issues solo, becoming the person that I am solo, learning everything the hard way, because nobody's teaching me the right way. It's like it's a whole thing with my life story. I don't really get into it, because a lot of people hear and they get depressed. My lady, she's been the only constant in my life. And what I mean by constant, I don't mean like keeping contact on the phone or through Facebook or social media. I mean, she's been by my side, so we have mutual experiences. And she's the only person that's been there that can understand. I could be like, hey, you remember when blah, blah, blah? She'd be like, yep, I remember that. Because we've been together for so long that she can relate to a lot of the things that I do, say, the way I act. So it's like with my kids, it's like I want to be a constant in their life. I talk to my kids. I want them to experience. I want them to understand, and I want them just to be able to comprehend what's going on. Life isn't always going to be peaches and cream, and I want them to know that, but I want to prepare them for life struggles. And like a lot of this stuff hits me at random times, and usually I internalize it, keep it to myself, and just basically talk to myself about what it is that I'm experiencing and feeling at the time. But yeah, I mean, my kids are just absolutely amazing. And to the point, literally, like, my daughter can spell words that I can't spell. I know what they mean. I know how to use them. But other than that, that's about it. But life is a beautiful thing, man. And I don't understand, like, why people want to... And this video is going to be all over the place because I'm just talking. But I don't understand, like, why people want to commit suicide. I just feel like there's so many ways out that you're not realizing. You're stuck in a tunnel vision when there's so many roads that's open for you to get out of that situation. Of course, while you're going through that situation, you don't understand the other roads. You don't see the other roads, because you're too busy internalizing what it is that's got you in that place, which I get. Have I been depressed before? Yeah. But the good thing about when I was depressed, I realized I was depressed. And I got to understand how I react when I'm depressed. I got to feel the pain of depression. I got to feel that neglect that people give you because you're there for them when they have issues, but they're not there for you when you need to talk. You know. Have I ever thought about committing suicide? The thought has ran through my mind. I'm not dumb enough to do it, but I get where people who are in that situation feel. I get it. But I don't understand why you would want to go from a situation that you are aware of and then go into a situation that you know nothing about. Nothing about. Once you kill yourself, what actually happens? No one knows at all. Some say reincarnation, because you committed suicide, you go into hell, you know. Which on that case, if you commit suicide, I don't think you're necessarily going to hell. Because if the word is right, God gave you free will, right? So you can choose to take your own life if you choose to. Because suicide to me is just, it's not, some people be like, it's the easy way out. No, it's not easy. It's a rash decision that you executed. And it puts you 6 feet under, you know? Like, I don't see how people can commit suicide when they have kids, because you're not even thinking about your child. You're thinking like, oh, I just want to get out this situation, when you don't know what situation you're putting yourself into by putting that bullet to your brain. Now, I don't understand why people want to kill other people when they feel like they want to commit suicide. Like the California shooting, my lady works for disability. So when that happened, I had a conversation with her. It was brief because it was in the morning and you know, she's on her way to work or whatever. But I'm like, if something like that was to happen, what would you do? And she's like, well, I know several exits out of the building. I would do this and I would do that. You know, it's but here's the messed up part about it. The place that they shot up was not the place that would pay your disability benefits or approve you for disability benefits. The place that they shot up was the place to help people that's disabled get jobs and services that they need in order for them to be productive in life. You know, you shot up a place that helps people with disability get jobs and services they need to be productive in life, and you killed, you murdered and massacred 14 people. And I don't know all the details about it because I'm always working and I rarely listen to the news. But stuff like that is like, how can you protect against that? You don't know. Like, I woke up, I'm in my truck, and I'm driving. It could be a sniper on the road just killing people randomly for no apparent reason, but for self-gratification, self-satisfaction. The feeling that you have life, like you're in control of that person's life. It's like, how can you, like, a lot of people want gun control and different things like that. I'm all for gun control to a certain extent. You know, if you get a gun, you go to purchase a gun, you need to have a valid driver's license. You need to be fingerprinted and a picture taken. Simple as that. Then you can get the gun, go about your way, shoot up whatever it is that you want to shoot up. But even if you screen these people, you can't necessarily know what's going through people's head. You can't. And I just don't get why you would go and take somebody else's life and then take your own. Like, okay, I'm satisfied, and now I'm going to take my own life. Like, what's the thinking behind that? What's the thinking behind that? That part I just do not get. But hopefully that person who did that is damned for life. I hope he comes back as a condom on somebody that's riddled with diseases. I hope he come back as as shit in an intestine. And for the rest of his life, he's just got to smell shit and deal with shit for the rest of his new life if he's reincarnated. That don't make no sense to do stuff like that. But on to the next. I mean, again, I do think a lot when I drive, but it's always to myself, so I don't really know how to like to touch on a subject. Like, I touched on the subject, but that's it. It comes and then it goes. I don't have no as far as thought process go. I'm a type of person that you give me something and I give you my opinion of it. I don't know what this truck's doing. Do you want me to shift? Okay, let's shift you. Are you gonna get going? Well, this is me trying to have a different conversation besides trucking with my subscribers and different things like that. I cannot wait until I'm out this day cab. I'll tell you that.